apparently body positivity is just so last year, and skinny is just in. We're going back to the days of Tumblr and heroin chic in the 90s, and everybody wants to be skinny, and thanks to drugs like GLP-1s, Ozempic, Mounjaro, you can now achieve just that. We have definitely created a world where you can't tell what is real online anymore. You have no idea what somebody looks like, what somebody acts like, what somebody is like in real life, and this is the world that we have created thanks to the internet. Someone could even come on and say that they're being their real, true, authentic self, and you would just have to take their word for it, because you don't know unless somebody who actually knows them in real life calls them out. You have no idea if they're telling you the truth or not. Instagram models, yeah, they don't actually look like that. I hate to break it to you. If you follow Stephanie, she has some really great content that goes, and she goes into deep dives showing how these influencers don't actually look like that in real life. They look very, very, very different. And they do edit their waists so that they can have these teeny little waists like they haven't eaten in days. And even when they're editing their waists, they'll still get comments from men in the comments. It's at least judging by the profiles, it seems like they're men, that they are well fed. So is it any wonder that people are trying to chase constantly trying to get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier? I don't think we actually know like what a healthy weight is anymore, or there's just we have no idea what that looks like. People have gone from the more extreme of body positivity, decided that they didn't like that, and that wasn't healthy, that isn't good, you don't need to be 300 plus pounds, that's not healthy. So now let's go to the extreme of being basically anorexic and starving yourself and being 90 pounds and saying that even that isn't still skinny enough somehow, depending upon, of course, because it all depends upon angles, and you catch somebody at the wrong angle, it's like, oh, you're not skinny anymore, I can see a little bit of a stomach there, you need to lose that. My mother has a story about when she was wedding dress shopping about the lady who was fitting her wedding dress, telling her that, oh, you just gotta lose that 5 pounds, and patted her stomach. And because a lot of women carry a little bit of extra weight around the reproductive organs, it's normal fat. And I've spent the majority of my adult life trying to get rid of that last little bit of weight around my stomach. And yeah, my body just says, yeah, no, I'll lose it everywhere else. I'll lose the weight in my face, lost all the baby fat in my face, that all went away. But then I kept my stomach. It's like, what? I want to keep the weight in my face because that makes you look a little bit more youthful. I want to lose it in my stomach. And that's why, the influencers and the celebrities go and get liposuction and stuff like that done. So you can spot treat fat and get rid of the fat that you don't want, and then keep the fat that you do want to keep. This year, 2025, I've seen so many videos of people giving little hacks and home remedy type stuff for losing weight. I think the craziest one I've seen was castor oil in the belly button.
What?
Which has to be pseudoscience, just something I feel like a Disney witch doctor would tell me to go do if I wanted to be skinny, to go get the prince. Just put castor oil on your belly button. And it's supposed to be pulling, coconut oil pulling for your teeth, when you would do, you put coconut oil on, in your mouth and you rinse it around. Putting castor oil in your belly button is supposed to somehow pull the impurities through your belly button. Your belly button isn't an open orifice anymore. It's not. It's sealed. It's closed off. It's been sealed for a long time. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. And even I know, what the most you're going to be doing is moisturizing your belly button. This because it's skin, so But yeah, you can Google it. There's little to no evidence that this does anything if you want to do it. But it just, to me, it just shows how desperate people are to try to lose that little bit of weight and to help with bloating and just overall being skinny. But still, the desperation, I do think, is a little bit real because, again, women have a higher body percent and a fat that's just a healthy, normal weight of body percent fat. Now, it really depends on, like, what you look like, what study you look at. It really, like, depends. Why am I shedding so much? Apparently, this has just been way too stressful for me. Why am I shedding just so much? But just being healthy and being, like, skinny isn't a thing isn't enough anymore. People want to be what I call fitness influencer skinny, but as I mentioned, Stephanie Lane really goes into those videos, and a lot of those people don't even look like that all the time. It has a lot to do with a certain time of the day they haven't eaten yet, and you take those pictures when you haven't put anything in your stomach, so you're nice and skinny. And because as soon as you put food in your system, whether you're gonna bloat or not, that food has to go somewhere. It's volume. The volume is going to increase. Yes, because if you eat 1 pound of food, that 1 pound of food has to go somewhere. It's gonna go somewhere. But also what plays a lot into it, and what a lot of these fitness influencers and Instagram models understand, is lighting and angles, and also how to wear your clothing. There's certain ways to adjust your clothing and types of clothing to wear to suit your body that is going to make you look a certain way.
So I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to manipulate the way your body looks in a photo just by the way that you pose and the way that you wear your clothes. You're gonna bring these bikini bottoms down. You can already see that you've kind of lost the hourglass shape. Boobies, just loosen this up. Okay, so I've lost my cleavage now. Push your hips forward, hunch a little bit. And as you can see, my body looks completely different. Look at how different that is. So right now I have my bikini bottoms up really high to accentuate a smaller waist. I've also pulled my boobs in towards the center, wearing a very tight bra. And then when you pose, you kind of lean your butt back like that. And that's how you create that hourglass shape. And that's why you can't believe everything online. All you can do is trust yourself. Enjoy your own journey.
Anyways, going back to the whole women have more body percentage fat type thing, let's look into it. It really depends, like, what kind of study you look at. It seems to kind of change. So this is the one that I've always heard, is the 25 to 31%. So if you just Google it and you do ask for an AI answer, this is what you get. Women are supposed to have between 25 to 31%. That is the healthy range for body fat. I'm actually under that. And yet, I've been told that I am a skinny fat. I have no idea yet in what world I am a skinny fat, but apparently I am, even though I am a 22% body fat, and I do lift weights. And when you go to the doctor and they weigh you, they don't calculate muscle mass. They just kind of use a formula that doesn't take into account if you lift weights. So yeah, it might even be less than 22%. But yeah, so, to the people who call me skinny fat. But whenever you have just any kind of a little bit of a stomach, I haven't eaten anything yet, so I'm looking pretty good. That will all change as soon as I put some food in my stupid stomach. I can eat an apple and it's all over. Taking apple cider vinegar and a probiotic/prebiotic, taking both, definitely helps. You can also eat some yogurt, but those two things definitely, I would say, have helped the most with my bloating. I didn't notice anything with this product that I'm going to be talking about, that all the girlies have been talking about, that we're leading up to. But because we have GLP-1s, which is the weight loss part of Ozempic Mounjaro, so you're not getting the GLP-1 is just the weight loss part of it. So you're not getting the diabetic part, you can just get the GLP-1 if you don't need the extra pancreatic support. If you're not diabetic, you just want to lose weight, you can just take the GLP-1. But because of that, being skinny is in again. It did seem like as soon as that drug came out, like every single celebrity lost at least 10 pounds like overnight and instantly became skinny. It was a little suspect. It did definitely make you think some of it could have been natural, others definitely could have been on it. I think it's different when you struggled with your weight and you need to lose weight and you can't lose weight and your doctor says, yeah, let's do it. And especially if you've dealt with high blood sugars, I don't see none of my business. If your doctor says you can be on it, be on it by all means. And I wouldn't qualify to be on it. I just find it interesting when people who are on it who are already skinny, like the Kardashians, it's like you're already pretty skinny and then they get skinnier, and it's crazy. Some people were also just saying that they were reversing the like the BBLs and stuff, and that was what was making them skinnier. But it kind of seemed like they were getting like overall skinny, not like just like spot losing weight in certain places, that they were removing fat from BBLs and stuff like that. So it made me think that they were using, Ozempic or some sort of GLP. This is all alleged, who knows. But when somebody is already really, really skinny like that, and then they take something like that, you do have to worry about getting enough nutrition. Like, you would have to really work with a dietitian really closely, because if you're not getting the proper nutrition, there can be some really bad side effects to taking medications like this, when you don't need to take medications and you don't need to lose that extra 10 pounds or whatever. But because of this, and people don't necessarily have the money to get into this, if insurance won't pay for it, these shots are really expensive, but you can go online, and I've seen where you can get it for like $300 a month, which is $3,600 a year. Still quite a bit, a lump sum of money, but cheaper, because then I think like an Ozempic shot is like $1,000, like over $1,000 without insurance. So definitely cheaper, but it's still quite expensive. So now we're coming into people trying to figure out even cheaper alternatives that will help them lose weight, which brings us to the latest thing, other than the castor oil and the belly button, but the latest product that people are selling, or at least all the influencers are talking about, which is this bad boy. This is the Nello Super Calming Drink Mix. Ashwagandha is the latest miracle thing in losing weight. And we're going to briefly talk about my experience taking this, and did I think it helped me lose weight? Will it help you lose weight? Or is this just another desperate attempt to try and help people lose weight, desperately lose that last little 5 to 10 pounds that does not need to be lost? I feel like I have to say that to myself too, like, you don't, like, you're skinny enough, who cares about the little bit of weight on your lower belly? Okay, hey, you don't need to kill yourself or starve yourself to lose it, because that's what I would have to do. I'd have to be anorexic, I think, to lose it. But ashwagandha is the latest thing. This specifically is KSM 66 ashwagandha, 300 milligrams, which is the kind of, I think, the normal dose. 300 to 600 is normal. They say powerful adaptogen. Am I saying that right? Adaptogen that promotes calm while also supporting mental and physical function. Now, I have to say, nowhere on this packaging does it say that it helps with weight loss. This is something that I saw from a lot of people online, saying that it helped them get snatched. That was the word that I saw them using. They were saying, oh, this is going to get you snatched. I don't really feel like calling out any other content creators. I understand if it worked for you, by all means, because it potentially will work for you. There's certain scenarios that this potentially could help you lose weight, which we'll get into. But then there's also things where it just may not, because it's not this miracle drug that's going to solve all your problems. It's something if you have a very specific reason why your body may be kind of retaining some weight. Now, if you're having weight problems due to high cortisol levels, then yes, ashwagandha will and can help with that. Now, if you Google it, it says it can indirectly reduce, help you lose weight by reducing stress and help with cortisol levels. Naturally, if you have abnormally high cortisol levels and your cortisol levels are just kind of stuck in that high position, then yes, this can help you. However, if you don't have high cortisol levels, then this isn't going to help you, and you can test for cortisol levels. I do recommend, if you suspect that you have high cortisol level symptoms, go to your doctor, ask them to test for it, and then figure out treatment options naturally. If something more natural like ashwagandha works and you don't have to take a prescription medication, fine. Of course, you have to pay for this out of pocket. Insurance doesn't help out with this. People are also saying that helps them sleep. That's the magnesium here, the magnesium glycinate. I was already taking magnesium glycinate because of my migraines. I was already told to take it. I personally didn't really experience this. I was still having to take my sleeping pill at night, but my brain's broken. I've always been an insomniac. When I was a child, I had these cassettes. Yes, that's a cassette. That's how old I am. I had these cassettes of Bible stories, and they would literally just run through the Bible stories, and there were times that I basically listened to the entire Bible from Genesis to the death of Jesus. That's actually no, they went to Paul? I don't think they went past Paul. So Paul, and then they didn't get into like Revelation or anything like that. So from like Genesis to, we'll say, like Luke, or probably Acts would be my guess. So Genesis to Acts, and I could get through the whole Bible, listen to the whole Bible, and I'd be totally functioning the next day. It was crazy. So I can operate on pretty minimal amount of sleep, but my brain's broken. But if it helps you sleep and you don't have to take a sleeping pill, naturally you should try it. And then vitamin D3, naturally that's something pretty easily that you can test, if you're deficient in vitamin D3. A lot of people actually are, at least here in the US. I don't know if it's because people just don't go out in the sun as much anymore, and more people are wearing sunscreen. Is it diet? I'm not sure. But a lot of people are deficient or insufficient in vitamin D3. And then there's the L-theanine, which they say supports mood, focus, and cognitive function. But the main thing everyone's talking about was magnesium to help you sleep. And of course, if you're not sleeping well and your body can't function normally, yeah, you're not going to feel good. I can see where you can deal with some bloat. You're not going to be able to exercise properly. So yeah, sleep is so important. And then the ashwagandha, yes, if you are dealing with high cortisol levels and your weight problems are because of those high cortisol levels, this can help. Now, if you don't have high cortisol levels, you're probably not going to see much of anything. And I will say that this specific product that all the girlies were talking about online, this is $40 for 20 packets. That's not even a month's supply. So it comes out to be $2 per packet. So you need $30. You need 30 packets for a month. So that's another $20. Okay, so it's $60. $60 a month. There's 12 months a year, so that's $720. So cheaper than a GLP-1, definitely. But that is more expensive than going and buying an ashwagandha supplement and a magnesium glycinate supplement. You can go onto Amazon and you can find an ashwagandha and a magnesium glycinate supplement for $10 each. you'll get anywhere from a month to 2 months supply, depending upon which one you choose. But we'll go conservative, and we'll just say you'll just get a month. So we'll say $20 a month instead of $60, and which is $240 a year. So a lot more affordable. So if you really do want to try ashwagandha, you don't have to, just because all the influencer girlies are saying this product. I have a sneaky feeling that a lot of them are getting paid to promote this product, and they're not necessarily disclosing that they're getting paid to, promote this product. Or they've been sent this product for free to try and promote it, and again, not disclosing. So, and I bought this with my own money. I spent the $40, and I actually stopped shy of using it. There should be, I think, like a pack or 2 in here. Yeah, 2 packs, because I started feeling so fatigued beyond my I've never felt such fatigue. Like, I was literally taking like 2 or 3 naps a day. It was insane. And I did Google it. Now, ashwagandha can interfere with medications. So I was wondering, like, is it interfering with any of my migraine medications? Because I do suffer from chronic migraines. I do take medications. And a little quick Google search said no. So then I was like, well, maybe. And that's another thing people aren't talking about, was that ashwagandha can interfere with medications. So please consult with your doctor or your pharmacist. So then I Googled, well, can ashwagandha cause fatigue? And yes, common side effects include mild and include stomach upset, loose stool, nausea, and drowsiness. And yeah, I can concur with the drowsiness. I would say I was more than drowsy. I was tired, and it was affecting my ability to work out. I just wasn't able to work out like I normally would, which to me doesn't help with the whole losing weight thing. Like, I was not able to lift as heavy as I normally would. So try this product with those things in mind. Again, if you suspect that you have high cortisol levels and your insurance will pay for you to get tested, go get tested instead of just, paying for a supplement that you don't necessarily need to take. Figure out if you actually need to take it instead of just, crapshoot trying to figure out. And if you want to try to see if you can switch out, a magnesium glycinate supplement for a trazodone, that's what I take, a sleep aid pill, then yeah, definitely do that, because it would probably be better for your liver and your kidneys. That's for sure. But just know this, pretty much in regards to supplements, you really don't need to take supplements as long as you're eating a healthy, balanced diet, unless you're insufficient in something or you have some other health thing going on. Like with my migraines, I was told, oh, you should be taking these, they listed out a bunch of different supplements that I could be taking that could be helping me with my migraines. I mean, the list is astronomical. That could be a whole separate video. But, so there isn't a reason to take them unless you have a health problem that you need to be taking something for. And always tell your doctor what you're taking, because these vitamins can interfere with medications and stuff like that. So tell your doctor. Here, I did take some measurements before we started all this. So here at my smallest part, I was 29 inches. 29. But then here, where I have a little bit where my stomach goes in, right here, you can see it. I can't suck that in. Organs, fat, whatever. I can't lose that. I've tried my whole life. I could probably go get a liposuction out, but I just think that's a waste of money.
Get a little bit more.
Let's see if I got any skinnier.
Bloated.
Taking, almost 1 bag of this. I had to stop. I was just too fatigued. I couldn't function. Okay, this part of my stomach, my problem area, started out at 31, and I think it was 31.5 if I remember correctly, and I am still 31.5. And the skinniest part of my waist was 29, and I am still 29. Now, some may say, well, you just didn't do it long enough to see if it did anything, but again, I couldn't function. I can't be taking 2 to 3 naps a day. It was making me so bloody tired, and again, and affecting my ability to work out, which I don't see how that's going to help me lose any weight if I can't work out because I'm just so tired and just want to sleep all day. So, yeah, if ashwagandha works for you, naturally you should try it, and there's plenty of other people who swear by it who haven't experienced the drowsiness and the fatigue that I did. Just because I experienced that side effect doesn't mean you will. Everybody's a little bit different. But yeah, I was taking this at night. It's not like I was taking it in the morning. I was taking it at night. And it took a while. Like, I was fine for like the first few weeks. And then I got into... this year, what would it have been? I stopped at like day 18. Like day 16, I was just like, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. I just couldn't handle it anymore. But, so yeah, I definitely would say we just need to learn to be more comfortable with our bodies the way they are. As long as you are eating a well-balanced meal, you're getting all your nutritional value that you need, and what you're eating, you feel satiated and you feel full until your next meal. I am not a doctor, so naturally take all of this with a grain of salt. Of course, the influencers are saying that this made them snatched are not doctors either, and I suspect they're being paid to say that this made them snatched. So, but learn to love your body the way it is, as long as you're eating a healthy, balanced diet and you're doing some sort of form of movement or exercise, whether that be Pilates, yoga, walking the dog, jazzercise, is hiking, whatever, bicycling, whatever. As long as you're moving your body, that's all you need to do. I do recommend some certain amount of weightlifting because as you get older, you lose your muscle mass, and muscles do help you process sugar, which means you can eat more sugar. But yeah, so again, stay healthy out there. Just know that all these little gimmicky products to help you lose weight and to not be bloated and to be skinnier and influencer skinny are crapshoots. It's not real. It's charlatan stuff. It's the whole like back in the Western times, like that's actually how Dr. Pepper started. It was a medication, that you go around and sell, and it was like it was not a medication, but it's complete charlatanism. And yeah, again, if you have high cortisol levels, ashwagandha can help. Again, you can test for that. You don't have to spend a bunch of money on something that may not work for you and just be wasting your time and wasting your money that you could be putting towards something else that you probably should be putting that money towards. So I hope before you go and you see this and you go waste a bunch of money on the latest thing to try to get yourself as skinny as possible, just know the influencers aren't even as skinny as that they say that they are. They edit their bodies like crazy, and you are just fine the way you are. You do not have to take a bunch of stuff to get as rail thin and anorexic thin as possible. You are allowed to have, as a woman, have a certain amount of body fat and still be healthy. If anybody else says otherwise, you can tell them to eat a bag of dicks. Alright, thank you. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!